And
evening,
let
everyone.
me record, I will record this session for the members who have missed it as well. So let me give you the opportunity to share your screen as well.
Is my screen shared now?
Yes, so we can see the first slide. Yeah, so maybe you can put it in full presentation mode. Perfect. Yeah, so everybody should be seeing it. Yes, perfect. Okay, great. So I think we are ready to go. Tarek, thank you again for being with us today. Feel free to add any details to your to introduce yourself to the group, and we look forward to learning.
Thank you very much, Servan. Let me just put something else on my screen. So good evening, everyone. My name is Tarek Nkaid,
Let me mute some of the participants. Okay, let's go.
Okay, start again. So good evening, everyone. My name is Tarek Nkaid. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Health Connect for Management Consultancies. First of all, I would like to thank Servan for this opportunity to share our experience in healthcare management and to try and share our knowledge of healthcare management with everyone available now. It's not a lecture, it's just an open discussion. I would love to hear your thoughts. Whenever you want, you can turn off your mic and ask at any time a question or share any experience that you would love to share with us all.
Thank you, Tarek. So yes, feel free to interact. There is a chat box at the bottom. I will regularly check the questions in case you prefer to pop your questions into writing. If not, you can feel free to unmute yourself and ask the questions, and then we'll have question and answer session at the end.
Okay, so today in this small presentation, we're going to go through a few points that are relative to any healthcare business in the UAE, specifically in Dubai. As far as I've seen from the attendees, there's many of them from the aesthetic field, which is something very good because we have some extra information in this presentation related to the aesthetic field in specific, but generally it will be about the healthcare sector. So the UAE healthcare sector is a highly competitive, driven by rapid growth, government support, and increasing demand for quality services. The key players include both public and private hospitals with prominent private healthcare groups. And the government encourages medical tourism and innovation, attracting international investments and top-tier healthcare providers. Throughout the presentation, we're going to discuss the healthcare sector in the UAE in general and the growth of the healthcare sector and how it's being affected by the population growth of Dubai, of UAE, and specifically in Dubai. We're going to go through quickly the standards and regulations of the healthcare regulators in the UAE, whether it's the Ministry of Health or the DOH, Department of Health in Abu Dhabi, or DHA in Dubai. We're going to have an overview on competition and challenges that healthcare facilities face during their operations. We're going to explain in details the target audience in UAE and the benefit of deciding and defining your target audience. We're going to go through the patient journey and the experience of the patient that they face from the minute they decide to interact with the clinic until they complete their treatment and leave the clinic. The importance of leadership in management and how a good leader can affect the growth of the clinic and the business positively. Team performance and how to maintain and retain your team and motivate them to perform better and to increase profitability and customer satisfaction. And finally, the ideal business analysis and business development methods from our personal experience. So as you can see on the screen, this is all information gathered from the net. The government of UAE and Dubai specific have actually projected that the reach of the population in Dubai would reach 5.8 million by 2040, which is almost 60 or 60 something percent in the next 16 years. Of course, such growth will be followed by and supported by the infrastructure development of the country, meaning that there will be more real estate, there will be more clinics, there will be more schools, there will be a good expansion in the city of Dubai. The medical tourism in Dubai is supported very strongly in UAE, and specifically in Dubai, is being funded very strongly by the government, and it's as it offers advanced treatments and wellness services. So we're going to discuss a little bit the opportunities in the healthcare sector in Dubai. So the medical technology, we know that there's a high demand for advanced medical devices and the integration of artificial intelligence solutions into the healthcare. And as you may all well know, Dubai is one of the leaders in the integration of artificial intelligence and top technologies into the healthcare sector. There's a noticeable increase in the demand on the chronic disease management in the country as well. And the mandation of the healthcare insurance by the government has increased the demand on healthcare services, as people now can afford, by having a healthcare insurance policy, can afford to receive treatments within the UAE rather than receive them outside the country if they cannot afford them. So competition is intense, and especially in specialized services such as aesthetics, where clinics vie for reputation and patient trust. Advanced technologies, personalized care, and customer experience are critical differentiators. Regulatory standards and accreditation also play significant roles in shaping the competition and the competitive landscape. We know that there's a big challenge in the aesthetic markets in specific and the healthcare sector in general, that the competition is increasing annually or on a regular basis. If you visit the DHA portal, for example, and you search for the clinics or facilities that are licensed, you would find that on a daily basis, the amount of clinics that are opening is increasing. However, on the other hand, there are some of them that are exiting the market because they did not start their business or did not start their investment correctly by having clear targets and by having clear goals and being prepared for the challenge and for the big competition that they would be facing in the market. One of the big challenges that clinics face when they, I'm actually talking about clinics in specific. I will not say hospitals because we're here to talk about clinics more. So I'll be using clinics more than hospitals. One of the big challenges that clinics face in the UAE and specifically in Dubai is the high costs of operations. And that's due to the high salaries. One of the things is the high salaries, high rents, that is increasing on a regular basis. The other challenge that clinics face in the UAE is the workforce shortage. It's not easy to find always the right professional to fulfill the position. However, Servan is always there to help. And the third thing is the regulatory compliance. To comply with the rules and regulations of the health authority is not simple, especially when the investor or the owner of the clinic is a new entrant. You all are aware of the big challenge from the to abide by the local health authority rules and regulations when it comes to the standards, as they seem to maintain one of the highest standards worldwide. So in conclusion, the UAE's healthcare sector is set for continued growth. We can see regular growth in the healthcare sector as the population is growing. However, on the other hand, we also have the competition growing. So it's very important to be to differentiate from the market competitors and to perform and to use the right tools and elements to show up in this field. Moving on to the standards and regulations of the healthcare authorities, we all know that there's two different licenses that the health authorities issue in the UAE. There's the healthcare facility license, which is not the case in many of other countries, meaning that a doctor can hold a license to practice as a doctor and can just go and open and start seeing patients in any commercial property. While in the UAE, the healthcare authorities seem to maintain higher standards through performing inspections and higher standards for healthcare facilities. So we have three main authorities in the UAE that regulate the healthcare sector. One of them is the Ministry of Health, and that regulates the Emirates, 5 Emirates. We also have the Dubai Health Authority that is concerned with the Emirate of Dubai, and then we have the DOH that regulates Abu Dhabi and the city of Al Ain. The other license that the health authorities issue is the healthcare professional license that is concerned with the doctors' licenses, nurses, and all allied healthcare professionals, such as beauty therapists and so on. There's also the continuous professional development, which is very important. It's important for two things. One is to renew your license every year, of course. On the other hand, it's important to attend those continuous professional development courses that would actually help you develop your skills and keep up to date with the latest techniques and skills of treatment, whether on the managerial level or the professional level. The training is very important. We have the patient safety and quality care. We all know that the health authorities have very strict standards when it comes to infection control, medication management, emergency preparedness, to be prepared for any emergency. And they also perform regular inspections and routine inspections and audits to make sure that the clinic is abiding by those high standards, and not abiding by those standards and regulations could lead to severe fines by the health authorities. The next thing is the pharmaceuticals and medical devices that are used in any healthcare facility. Those devices and pharmaceuticals must be registered and imported in a way that is through the Ministry of Health. And the reason they do that is to ensure the safety and efficacy of the drugs and the equipment that are used by the healthcare facility. So in conclusion, the health authorities in the UAE play a critical role in maintaining high standards for healthcare through comprehensive regulations, licensing, and continuous monitoring. The focus on patient safety, quality care, and regulatory compliance ensures that the UAE remains a leader in the healthcare service in the region, healthcare services in the region. So moving on to competition and challenges that clinics face in the healthcare sector. Balancing high quality care with the need to remain cost effective is a significant challenge. One of the challenges and the major big challenges that clinic faces is to balance between serving the patients with a high quality and maintaining and being cost effective due to the strong competition in the market. And keeping up with evolving regulations and ensuring compliance. We were just talking about that the compliance can be resource intensive. You might need to hire specific and extra manpower to make sure that you are abiding and adapting to the regulatory changes. Differentiation in a crowded market is not so easy, so standing out among numerous providers requires continuous innovation and marketing efforts. So more budgets, more expenses, spending on marketing to stand out and to differentiate from the market. Sustainability of pricing strategies. The price war that happens in many countries, and specifically, actually, you can see it in Dubai on social media accounts. Pricing wars where people are reducing the price to attract more people. That's not very healthy for the business, definitely, because you would only attract price-oriented clients or customers that would walk away the minute they find a better offer or deal. There would be no loyalty or no loyalty between the customer and the clinic. Attracting and retaining talent, that's one of the big challenges. Many clinics attract good talents and good professionals, sometimes from inside the country, sometimes from outside the country. They spend on developing their skills and improving them to reach to a level where they would start becoming break even or even generating good profit for the clinic. And then someone starts headhunting them and they move from one clinic to another by getting a better offer, giving no attention to the expense or the cost that the clinic has put into developing that doctor or professional. So in summary, while the UAE healthcare sector, sorry, I'm just moving on with this slide. So while the UAE healthcare sector offers significant opportunities, competition is fierce, and providers must navigate various challenges to succeed. Innovation, quality care, and strategic positioning are key to thriving in this dynamic market. Now we will move on to talking about different types of target audience and why it is important to decide your target audience and who you will be targeting when you open a clinic. So before going to the different types of audience, the target audience varies depending on the type of services you're going to offer in your clinic and the location of your clinic and the prices of your services and the professionals you will hire and the technology you will invest in. That all plays a big role. You cannot open in an area close, for example, to Sharjah and be targeting people that live next to Jebel Ali, because that's a long trip for them. So you have to decide on your target audience. You have to know the geographical area where these target audience live. You have to secure that. You have to make sure that the trip to your clinic is going to be easy and smooth. When the next after finishing with the target audience, we'll be moving on to the patient experience. So we will speak more in details about the patient experience and why it is very important to take every single element of that experience into consideration. So speaking of the target audience, we have the local Emirati population. The local Emirati population constitutes a key target audience because they are the strong purchasing power in the country. And they often seek high-quality healthcare services and may prefer private healthcare providers that offer premium services. So since we are all here into private investment into the healthcare, we should definitely consider targeting the Emirati population where it's possible. Expatriates is also a very big target audience in the UAE. We all know that there's more than, last year, the government has announced that there's more than 180 different nationalities in Dubai. However, targeting different backgrounds and expats could be a bit challenging when it comes to the targeting of different cultures. So if you decide you would target a specific nationality, you'd need to make sure that the investment you make in the devices that you have in the clinic are up to the standards they would expect and they are familiar with such technology. You have to make sure that the staff that you hire and the employees are good to interact with them in a language that they both can talk. So that could be a bit challenging, but it's very important because the majority in the country are expats. So it's very important to decide whether you're targeting Westerns, Asians, Middle Easterns, who exactly you'll be targeting, so you know where to put your investment and to invest in the right place. When it comes to medical tourists, we also have the international patients that we spoke about at the beginning. We know that this is a growing segment in the UAE and that patients are coming from neighboring GCC countries, from Europe, from Asia, from Africa, and they are seeking specialized treatments like cosmetic surgery, dental care, fertility treatments, and elective surgeries. And those are all cash patients that do not have insurance. Medical tourists are attracted to the UAE for its high-quality healthcare, advanced technologies, and shorter waiting times, because we all know that the waiting times in countries that have healthcare programs or insurances, such as in Europe, have long waiting times. So people that can afford to pay for their services would definitely come to the UAE, specifically to Dubai. You can also be targeting corporate clients. Big corporate companies provide their, actually even medium corporate companies provide their employees with health insurance policies. So by targeting these corporate companies, if you are a healthcare provider with insurance, with the direct billing insurance, it would be a great opportunity to target, not changing slides, sorry. To target the international tourists. Also, the HNWIs, the affluent and high net worth individuals that actually come to Dubai for the luxury healthcare facilities and to receive personalized treatment. That could be one of your target audience as well. And we also know that in aesthetics and wellness services, the key target audience for aesthetic clinics, luxury wellness centers, and anti-aging treatments is the HNWIs are one of those customers. We also have finally the insurance-based patients, and those are the people or the employees or the laborers that have insurance policies that have minimum coverage, and they would actually only go to see a doctor or to receive a treatment in a facility that takes their insurance for direct billing, as they cannot afford to pay for their treatments. So in conclusion, the target audience for healthcare providers in the UAE is diverse, ranging from local Emiratis to expatriates, medical tourists, corporate clients, and high net worth individuals. Tailoring services to meet the specific needs and preferences of these groups is key to success in the competitive market. Now we will go through talking about the patient journey and experience. It is very important that we focus on the journey of the patient from the beginning to the end, which I would divide into two sectors. The first sector of this journey is when the patient hears about your facility or your clinic and decides to interact by posting or messaging or calling your clinic. The minute they decide to interact with your clinic, if they have heard of you from a friend or relative or seen your ad on a social media platform or on browsers, this is where their first experience starts. The easiness of searching your clinic and knowing more about your services, your healthcare providers, the location of your clinic, having a quick view of the devices or the equipment that you may have in your clinic is very important. The location of the clinic, any additional services that you may offer, such as valet parking or so on, is very important to be mentioned so that they know when they decide to come to see you at your clinic, you have done everything possible to make this trip as easy as possible. So when they start interacting with the staff and the employees of the clinic, it is very important that the person who is attending to their query is familiar with your services, familiar with your prices, familiar with any and majority of the questions that they could face. So they need to have a good training on the frequently asked questions by customers so they can attend to it. They have to have patience. Some customers are not very friendly, and we cannot risk to lose a customer because we are not patient to attend to their query and provide them with more information. When the patient decides to book an appointment, that is the end of the first section of the patient journey, and there starts the second section of the journey when the appointment day comes and the patient decides to take the trip from their work office or from their home to reach to your clinic. The length of their trip, the easiness of reaching to the clinic, finding you on the Maps application, finding a close parking to the door of your clinic, reaching to the door of the clinic and opening the door and seeing the first impression. As you all know, first impression is last impression. Everything, paying attention to everything the patient sees when they enter your clinic is very important. The lighting, the smell, the welcoming smile on the face of the employees, your reception area, privacy if they are VIPs and they require privacy. Helping them out with their registration if it's their first visit to your clinic, attending to their query and understanding why they are visiting the clinic. And then it goes on. Just forgetting to change the slides. Sorry. And then it goes on to when the allied healthcare professional attends to them and measures their vital signs, making sure that you're asking them, the healthcare professional, allied healthcare professionals, asking the right questions, taking notes of any concerns, of any allergies this patient may have, and making sure that they are all recorded on the electronic medical record of the patient, so that the doctor or the consultant would continue from there and do a proper consultation and provide the proper treatment plan for the a customized treatment plan for this patient. Using advanced technologies in this consultation or in the treatment is very important and key to success, as this gives the patient more credibility and credibility with the clinic. Post-treatment follow-ups, clear instructions on how to deal with this treatment that they have received. The do's and the not do's and the don't do's are very important to be given by the healthcare providers. Scheduling a follow-up care or a follow-up appointment is very important, because majority of patients leave the clinic forgetting to schedule their follow-up, and it could go for weeks until someone remembers that this patient should come for a follow-up. And then the patient moves from seeing the doctor or the professional or receiving the treatment to the billing and payment experience. It is very important that we are transparent with our prices, with our services, and with the services that were offered to the patient are very clear. And it is key and important to have convenient payment methods, whether it's those apps that offer installments, or cash or credit card payments, and so on. Then once the patient is done with the billing and payment experience, it is very important to collect a verbal feedback from the patient on their visit to the clinic. And in case the patient provides, or the customer provides, a negative or a comment, it is very important that we act on that feedback. And then it would be very beneficial to contact the patient or the customer and inform them of the act that has been taken based on the feedback that was collected from them. Cultural and language considerations is very important, to have people that speak the language of the majority of our target audience, and to take care of cultural sensitivity. And finally, the technology and digital integration, like having patient portals where patients can have either a portal or a mobile app where they can attend to their history and receive push notifications on their next appointment, whether there's any delay, rescheduling, confirmation done. It all comes through the portal or the patient app, or through any other communication method. To have a feedback and suggestion software is one of the key important things that collects, to do surveys and collect patient feedbacks on their overall experience with the clinic, with the professionals. And it's good to deal with this confidentially, so that when they fill it in and they post it, or whether they send it through an email or through a mobile app, that we deal with it confidentially and we don't reveal the patient name, and we take actions based on feedbacks from those patients. In conclusion, by focusing on these key points, healthcare providers in the UAE can enhance the patient journey and experience, leading to a higher patient satisfaction, loyalty, and positive word of mouth, which are critical in our competitive market. Screen is stuck, it's not changing. Okay, importance of leadership in management. Leadership in management is crucial for the success and sustainability of any organization. It goes beyond just managing tasks and processes. Effective leadership inspires, motivates, and guides teams towards achieving organizational goals. Here's why leadership management is very important. Strong leadership provides a clear vision and strategic direction for the organization. Leaders help align the team efforts with the organization's goals, ensuring everyone is working towards the same objective. Leaders inspire and motivate employees by communicating the organization's mission and values, creating a sense of purpose and commitment. Effective leaders make informed and timely decisions that consider both short-term needs and long-term goals. This helps steer the organization through challenges and capitalize on opportunities. Leadership involves assessing risks and making decisions that balance potential reward with potential downsides, ensuring the organization remains on a stable path. Leaders foster teamwork and collaboration, building a cohesive and supportive work environment. This enhances productivity and employee satisfaction. Good leaders empower their teams by delegating responsibilities, trusting their abilities, and providing the resources and support needed to success. In today's fast-paced environment, change is constant. Leadership is key in managing transitions, whether they involve new technologies, processes, or organizational structures. Leaders help employees adapt to change by providing guidance, support, and clear communication. Leaders instill resilience with the organization, helping teams stay focused and motivated during periods of uncertainty or disruption. Leaders play a pivotal role in shaping and maintaining the organizational structure. They set the tone for behavior ethics and values within the organization, influencing how employees interact with each other and with external stakeholders. Effective leaders lead by example, demonstrating the behaviors and attitudes they expect for their teams. This builds trust and credibility within the organization. Leaders have a direct impact on employee motivation and engagement. By recognizing achievements, providing constructive feedback, and creating opportunities for growth, leaders can boost morale and encourage high performance.
Что ты хочешь?
Ничего не хочу.
Ну, тот намочился потоньше, делай его.
Is there anyone interfering that wants to ask a question, or was that just by mistake, I think? Leadership that prioritizes employee well-being and professional development contributes to higher job satisfaction and reduces turnover. Leaders encourage creativity and innovation by creating an environment where employees feel safe to share ideas and experiment with the new approaches. This drives organizational growth and helps maintain a competitive edge. Through visionary leadership, organizations can identify growth opportunities, whether through new markets, products, or services, and develop strategies to capitalize on them. Effective leaders communicate clearly and transparently, ensuring that everyone in the organization understands goals, expectations, and changes. This reduces confusion and helps maintain focus. Good leaders also encourage open communication, creating channels for feedback and dialogue that allow for continuous improvement. Leaders are crucial in identifying and solving problems quickly and effectively. They navigate conflict within teams, ensuring that issues are resolved in a manner that strengthens relationships rather than weakening them. Leadership involves critical thinking and the ability to analyze situations from multiple perspectives, enabling better problem solving and decision making. Leaders focus on long-term sustainability by balancing immediate operational needs with future goals. They ensure that the organization remains adaptable, resilient, and prepared for future challenges. Effective leadership creates a lasting impact, not just on the current state of the organization, but on its future trajectory, leaving behind a strong foundation for continuous success. So in conclusion, leadership in management is vital because it drives the organization forward. If we don't have a strong leader and a strong management team, our organization will stay where it is, and we will not have any progress or development, neither to the clinic or to the team or to the business of that clinic. It also fosters a positive work environment and ensures that the team is motivated and aligned with the organizational goals, mission, and vision. Strong leadership is a key differentiator in achieving long-term success and navigating the complexities of today's business landscape. Team performance and motivation. It's very crucial to measure your team performance within a clinic, and to by measuring your team performance and doing evaluations to your team, you would actually decide and identify whether this team is growing, developing, and you could identify the weaknesses and the strengths of your team to know where to focus more, whether in developing them or training them. It's very important for your team to set clear goals and expectations for them. So setting an achievable goal and having realistic expectations for your team enhances their performance. Giving them unachievable targets and goals would actually demotivate them, as they would never seem to reach their goals. Recognizing and rewarding contributions boosts morale and motivation and encourages the continued high performance by your team. Open and transparent communication is very important, and fosters collaboration, reduces misunderstandings, and keeps all of your team aligned with the same target. Empowering team members with autonomy is in their roles builds confidence and accountability, driving better results. Leaders who provide support and guidance to their team and provide them with also resources help their team to overcome any challenge they may face and to stay motivated. A positive, inclusive work environment enhances job satisfaction, and it leads to improved performance and the retention of your employees. Offering professional development and growth opportunities keeps your team members engaged and motivated to perform well. In summary, a motivated team is more likely to be productive, engaged, and aligned with organizational goals, leading to higher overall performance and definitely to a higher retention of your staff. Ideal business analysis and business development methods. There are many methods that can be used to develop and analyze your healthcare business, but none of them is considered to be the ideal method or a method that works for all. Every clinic and every healthcare facility could have its own customized strategy, business plan, and methods that they use for their management, depending on the size of their facility, depending on the size of their team, depending on the services they offer, depending on the location they are in. So things change, but having the right leadership and the right management makes this team capable of adjusting and changing their methods and their strategies based on the demand and based on the needs. So I'm going to go through a few points and a few methods that, from our personal experience, we think that they have been effective when it comes to business analysis and business development. One of them is the SWOT analysis. It is very important that a clinic or a healthcare facility performs SWOT analysis, and not just only once. You need to perform SWOT analysis regularly in your clinic. Regularly doesn't mean on daily or weekly or monthly basis, but at least once a year, to identify your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, and to see whether you have developed or improved on any weaknesses that you may have, and to see whether you're achieving more strengths for your clinic or your facility, and whether you have made benefit of those opportunities that you have identified the year before or the time before you have performed this analysis, and whether you have taken into consideration the threats that you might have seen or identified during your analysis. Performing a market research and a competitive analysis is something that you need to perform more regularly. With the amount of clinics we spoke about that are opening in the country, there are new incomers on daily basis. So you need to perform a competitor analysis and a market research to see where you stand in this market in comparison to your competitors. It doesn't mean that if you do a competitor analysis that you must copy what your competitors are doing, but to know what your competitors are investing in and where they stand and what services they are offering, who is working with them, who are their target audience, where are they investing in marketing, what elements are they using, is very important. So you can compare your business to their business based on this analysis that you would do and see whether you're doing better than them and whether you need to continue in the same direction or whether they are improving in a better growth rate than yours. And this means you would have to adjust and tweak a little bit your strategies and your plans. Financial analysis is one of the most important business analysis methods that you need to perform in your clinic, where you analyze your financial status and you analyze your financial reports, such as the profit and loss, and you do the budgeting for the year, and you make sure that you adhere by this budgeting. You do not exceed the budget that you have set for any department. It's also important that when you do the budgeting and the financing, you decide on your goals and your targets so that you see whether this budgeting that you have done or whether the financial planning that you have done is achieving your targets, or whether you need to make changes to it to improve and reach your targets. ROI and cost benefit analysis is very important when you decide to invest in a new department or a new technology or a new team member. First thing you need to do is the cost benefit analysis and ROI calculation to see whether that investment is in the right place and whether you are putting your investment in a place where it would increase profitability. You might be investing in a new technology that would replace an existing technology that you currently have, which you still have not done a full return on investment on. So you would postpone it until that machine or that device or that equipment that you have invested in brings you enough return on investment before you invest in the new technology. So the same when you're investing in a new doctor or in a new professional or in a new department or in a new expansion to the clinic or a branch. First thing you need to do is to measure and to analyze the cost effectiveness of that investment and the return on investment, whether it's worth doing it or not, or whether it's worth investing in or not. Even if all of your competitors have invested in, you may have something that is relatively similar to what they have invested in, and may end up losing by investing in a new department or technology that would outdate one of your old technologies. Customer relationship management is one of the most important elements that you need to use in your clinics. Having CRM softwares to monitor your patients' satisfaction, to book your patients, to track their sales, and to improve customer retention, to receive customer feedbacks. This is one of the most important tools. We have tried it in several places, and it has shown very good results. Strategic planning. Vision and mission development. Clearly define your business's vision and mission from day one before you start your business, and make sure that everyone in the clinic is aligned with this, with your vision and mission, and that everyone is committed to achieve the same targets and goals. SMART goals. Establish specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound goals that align with the overall strategy and the vision and mission of this clinic. So make sure you have SMART goals. You don't have just goals because you need to have them. Digital transformation and technology adoption. Make sure that you're investing in the latest technologies and you are always up to date with the latest softwares, hardwares, machines, equipment, after you perform an ROI, of course, on any investment that you would be making in your clinic. E-commerce and online presence, social media presence, Google Ads, and so on are very important to make sure that you reach your targets and to compete with the other key players in the market. Human resources and talent management. This is one of the biggest challenges that we spoke about at the beginning. Retaining your professionals within the clinic is one of the biggest challenges. So you need to make sure that you acquire only talented professionals, and you focus on attracting and retaining, developing top talents. Implementing training programs and continuously upgrading their skills is very important. Engage your employees and share with them and recognize them, empower them, and create positive work environment for them. Leadership development is also important. Make sure that your leaders and your managers you invest in them to develop their skills and to be updated with the latest in management and in leadership. So in order to develop your business, you first need to analyze it. Analyzing your business requires reports. Reporting requires a reliable software, requires reliable softwares and data entry. Data entry requires efficient and reliable staff. Efficient and reliable staff requires staff development, motivation and training. Staff development, motivation and training require plans and management. Staff development, motivation and training require plans and management. Plan and management requires good leadership. Thank you. Servan?
Thank you, Tarek. Thank you so much. That was very informative. So I hope that there was a lot of information in your talk, Tarek, and it really presents, let's say, the ideal setup, business and management plan of a clinic from initiation to day-to-day management. Of course, this is the ideal plan. I'm sure that some of our participants here tonight maybe picked up on a few points and maybe challenges. Maybe they've tried to implement this, but they've not managed. So I'd like to open the discussion to the participants.
Sure.
Maybe we can talk about the important and sensitive topic of price competition and price wars.
Absolutely.
So if maybe someone from the group could share with us one of the main challenges that they've had and maybe advice that they would like to have from Tarek when it comes to adapting their pricing to the current market averages and how to not get dragged by the discounting that is happening in the market at the moment.
Absolutely.
So would someone like to share on this topic?
I think this is dependent on what target audience you're targeting. So if you want special category from the clients and the patients, you will not go in this game because really the prices are, the competition and the prices is very challenging now. So if you want to maintain special category, special audience for you, you shouldn't go in this
Absolutely,
and this
Ruba,
problem.
that's very
And
important.
it's so challenging now with the price. But your loyal clients, if you're treating your client very good, if your customer service is very good, if you like build a good relation with your client, you're not afraid from this, especially if you're like ensuring that you're providing the best quality and the best service.
I think Tarek, thank
Exactly.
you, Ruba.
Ruba was.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ruba. Yes, please, Servan.
Yeah, I think it's a great point, is the one you made at the beginning, that healthcare is a business, but it's a very different business than regular business. So you're always trying to maintain the balance between clinical care,
Quality care,
and then being competitive in the market. So in regular businesses, you know, when you're trying to be more competitive, you can lower the quality a little bit, but obviously you cannot and should not do that in healthcare. But that's what a lot of the clinics out there are doing in order to keep up with the competition. So do you think, Ruba, that the higher categories of patients, let's say, are not expecting any discounting nowadays in 2024?
No, they are expecting big time, because even the big clinics now, they are doing discounts.
Exactly, yeah. So
yes,
how do you
let me just add one thing.
They are expecting, but at the end of the day, experience is different. So I had a patient just today. She's asking me, how much you're charging for Botox underarms? I told her like between 2,500 to 3,000. You know, this sport is very expensive. So she told me, oh, but I usually do it in 1,000, but it stay for 1 month. I told her, come try our Botox and then you will, it's a big market and it's very challenging. This is a big problem for us.
Ruba, thank you very much for that. But I want to add one thing. It's if you are confident that you have set up the right experience for your and journey for your patient, and the price that you're collecting in return for the service you're offering is well deserved, and it's a reasonable price, I don't think you should go into that price war and price competition, because it will never end. and you would only target price-oriented customers
and
that
I
would
won't
not
go
be
for
loyal to your
sure.
facility.
Yes. At the end of the day, you have to be reasonable in the price.
Of course.
If you have class A doctors and if you have good quality and you're sure like you're providing the best quality and you have good professional also.
Of course, good professionals, good clinic,
Because at
luxurious
the end of the day, the
presentation.
market is going just like for digital marketing now and for price and like who will do best video, but they are ignoring sometimes the effort that the doctor is doing. They are ignoring the history of the doctor.
No, it's very important. Of course, the doctor's reputation is very important because I think eventually when educated customers start searching to do a treatment after they see the clinic and they see the ad and they see everything, they move on to searching in the doctor's profile to see their work, to see the doctor's work, his
Exactly. And the
reputation,
review
his experience.
also is very
And the
important.
reviews, of course.
For me, the number one marketing يعني the number one marketing challenge which is very important is the word of mouth.
Yes,
After
and
my
we
experience.
see
Can
a
I
bit-
just have one question?
Yes.
Because we are just repeating ourselves. So let's assume this. There are a couple of doctors here as well. Let's assume this, that we are in a position that the prices went down. What strategies you're suggesting to kind of go back, and up to what speed? Just to make this more productive discussion.
Of course. Thank you very much for the question. Well, you don't have to worry about those people that are reducing the price, because those people that are reducing the price definitely are not confident that the price they are charging for the service
Let's
is well
assume
deserved.
I'm a medical doctor and I work for another clinic. Right? I mean, the clinic is not under my ownership. I'm not a leader over there. You sometimes have a change in the marketing team. They have their own ideas. They get allowed to have their ideas. Let's assume that you reduced prices. Maybe they are even fine, but can you give us a couple of strategies how we can increase the prices? What speed should it be? Are there any, if you're having any strategies to give us advice? We can always talk, don't do this, don't do that, right? But let's assume, and there are plenty of us. I don't believe that 99% of us didn't reduce the prices because the market obviously says different. So let's assume there are 70% of us that went through a certain amount of reduction of the prices. Do you have any advice on the strategies on how we can increase our prices back?
I'll tell you one thing. You cannot increase your prices back after you drop the prices. And the reason you drop the price is because the services, when they're first launched, are overpriced. So when a new service is introduced to the market, it's introduced only in specific clinics at a very high price. And then once this service becomes more popular and more available in more clinics, it tends to reduce the price to come to an acceptable price, and you cannot increase it back to the old price. You just have to wait for the next trend to come, or the next service that they would add, or the next product they will bring to the market, and start with a higher price, and then the price will reduce automatically. This is not the price reduction that we're talking about. The price war we're talking about is the continuous dropping in the prices and the competition between clinics on certain services. If you go down to that competition, it will never end, because you will keep dropping your prices and you will always find someone who is cheaper than you, someone who is eager to bring any patient to their clinic just to generate some revenue to survive a day longer or a little longer.
So has anyone struggled to resist that temptation of reducing the prices? I guess that there is pressure from the patient, sometimes maybe from the marketing team as well, which is always a challenge. What are the conversations going on inside the clinic when it comes to not reducing the price?
I mean, we have been increasing prices, right? So we used to have Nabota, and it was quite competitive price. And then we had some challenges in regards to returning back the prices. But I was very honest with our patients that we did a little bit of analysis. And with the number of touch-ups that we were doing, we realized that we are doing more units, so our price went up. And it actually didn't impact our regular clients at all. But that's why I would like to know if there is any other thing. So we literally, from what we have been, we increased our price for maybe 40% from what we had for Botox. The product has been changed in the meantime because we don't have access anymore for Nabota. So that's also one of the reasons that we are mentioning to the patients, and it did not impact that one, right? So there are strategies. I would just like to hear from someone who is more specialized, and I'm only a doctor, if they're having any additional advices. So because it is possible.
It's
Absolutely.
possible
So the
if you
rule is
have
that
if you
you
have
cannot go
loyalty
down.
between the clinic and your patient, between the doctor and the patient, there's loyalty and the patient trusts the doctor, they would accept the increase in the price if it's within the acceptable range, definitely. If it's still competitive and it's not going to go extremely high and double and triple the prices of the market, the patients would accept because they know that this increase is in their benefit to provide them a better service and a higher quality. So if you increase and you retained your patients, this is great because this means your patients are loyal to you.
Communication and patient experience are always going to be key. And I think every service in Dubai actually at some stage will witness some inflation in the price. We live in a city and a country where inflation is part of our yearly expectations, rent, property prices, everything.
No, my apartment is not getting any more improved, but I'm paying more and more every year. So, and we
Exactly.
are accepting the price. So yeah, if any additional advices on this one, it would be quite of a value for us.
I think, transparency always pays off. And I think everyone that is in this group tonight, if they're faced with that question from one of the patients, why is your price increasing or why is it more expensive? Always being honest, not just in terms of, yes, the value that you're providing, the credentials of the doctors, but also transparency, as Mr. Tarek mentioned, why do we have to keep prices higher than most of the clinics that are competing on price wars? Is because if you want to have excellent doctors, excellent staff, a great manager, a great receptionist, you will pay each time 25 to 30% more than the market average, right? So as recruiters, we know that there is a huge difference between a manager that has 1 to 2 years experience to an excellent manager that really adds value and gives an amazing patient experience. Same for the front desk, same for the doctor. So all these costs for that patient to get that amazing smooth experience, from the front desk to the end of the treatment are all adding up, and being transparent, talking about the raising cost of rents, even clinics are paying increasing rents, increasing salaries. So in the end, the price of the treatment is also increasing. I think managers play a crucial role, in ensuring that this is communicated with the right terminology to the patients as well, if needed. So that's a very vast topic, pricing always. Perhaps one more topic to open up is talent acquisition as well. Is anybody struggling with the maybe attracting and retaining talent in their clinic? Do you think that there is a shortage of talent, particular professions? And perhaps we can give you some insights on solutioning this as well.
Well, that's one of the topics that really doesn't have a straightforward solution. As we mentioned in the presentation, to maintain talents in the UAE, the law does not really help the clinic owners and the investors to have a way to maintain for a specific period your professional or your talented employee. At any point, any professional or any talented employee can walk away, and the consequences can be financial only. So if someone decides to walk away, they can just walk away. The only way to retain your staff and make sure that they stay longer is to make sure that they are enjoying the work with you and receiving all the elements and the tools they would need to make sure that they are running smooth business. That's it. Like to have a good collaboration with that talented employee. Otherwise, when someone decides to leave, they can leave by law.
Yes, so we know that the non-compete clause in the contract is not enforceable.
Does not
There's
apply.
often questions
No.
on that, right? And I think, unfortunately, one of the big problems is the temptation of the thought that the grass is greener as well from the candidates and the employees. There's a lot of headhunting going on, and the better candidates and employees are being contacted daily, by recruiters. But I think, you know, in the end, a lot of them that leave sometimes come back. And I think training and development is extremely important. There's also a fear, you know, very often from the managers or owners that if they invest in training the staff, you know, they might leave them. But I think there's studies that show that the value of training and knowledge is much, much higher actually than the value of financial returns. So when people feel that they're growing and learning, it really encourages them to stay in the company rather than maybe a small salary increase even. Gaining extra responsibilities, trusting to promote the people inside your clinic is very important for people's welfare, for your staff's welfare.
Absolutely. And there's one method that we tried, or one tool that we tried in some clinics, where when you have a professional or a talented employee and you wish to retain that person for a longer period or the longest period, make that person your partner. That's a very easy way. I know it's giving away a lot, but at the end of the day, on the long term, you are the investor is benefiting a lot more than what they're giving away. So give away part of the business and make that person your partner. And this way you would retain that person for the longest period possible.
Yeah, I really agree with this. And we are working with some clinics that are now offering this scheme as well. I think, you know, times have changed, and clinic owners who are maybe not physicians themselves have realized that in order to run a competitive and sustainable business, which is a clinic, they fully rely on the commitment and the loyalty of the physicians. And I think there used to be a time when physicians, yes, would have always been employees and not have like a shareholding status. But yeah, a lot of clinic owners are now changing their mind on that. You know, they're becoming more open-minded, and it's regarded more like a partnership. Very often the doctors don't want to go into running a clinic, managing it. But of course, they like the financial motivation that they can have from being a partner.
Don't forget that this is a clinic, and the key player in the clinic is the doctor or the professionals that you have. It's not you as an investor or a manager or a receptionist who would run this place. The people that would generate money in a clinic, in a healthcare facility, is the doctor or the professionals that you have. So it's all in their hands. So if you have someone who's talented and you wish not to lose that person, make him your partner in a way.
Yeah.
It could be profit share, it could be asset shares. It doesn't matter. Find a way to win the loyalty of that person by giving away more.
Yes, perfect. Good suggestion. Thank you, Tarek. And you also mentioned about focusing on the local Emirati population. I think this is always like a dream target audience, you know, for a lot of clinics, because we know that they are, let's say, big consumers of medical procedures, but also aesthetics, and they're quite loyal. But is there a particular strategy to reach out to them?
You'll be surprised to know that some of them are price-oriented, and they are very well educated too, and they search for the best service at the best price. While you have many expats that do not practice the same method of, like they would pay more to receive a more luxurious service. There's very little. Don't forget that the expats are more, the locals are less, and the areas where we mainly open clinics, or where we are available, is a bit far away from where they are, from where they reside. So if you want to target the locals, you have to be close to them. You cannot expect them to travel across the entire city to reach your clinic to receive a service that is more expensive than the clinic which is next door to them. So it depends.
Yeah.
If you open a clinic and you decide to target the locals, you have to be close to them. You have to attend to their expectations and be prepared for whether it's from machines, from privacy. You know, it's a bit different. Different cultures have different demands and different expectations.
Yeah, the layout of the clinic and the room utilization and the patient journey would be very different. Absolutely. And I think, do you agree that we are seeing maybe perhaps a popularity of sort of like neighborhood clinics, let's call them that way, you know, clinics that maybe, of course, being on Jumeirah Beach Road, and it's ideal, you know, it's big catchment area, convenient for everybody to access. But I think there's a market nowadays for neighborhood clinics that as
That's true.
Dubai is getting more
That's
and more
true.
busy with more and more traffic, people try to stick to the
Absolutely
areas where
true.
they live in. Thank you so much. Any questions from
Thank you very
anyone
much,
else
Sarvan.
in our audience? So thank you so much for joining us. Tarek, thank you for preparing a very detailed presentation. This was presented as part of our bi-monthly session. So we run 2 events like this per month. One of them is always online for convenience, and the other one is in person, which gives you a chance for networking. It's in the morning before you go to the clinic on Tuesday mornings. The next session that we will be having is actually about LinkedIn. And LinkedIn, let's say, is a very, very underused social media channel, especially for clinics and especially by doctors. So a lot of clinics decide to have a LinkedIn profile, but actually LinkedIn is favoring personal profiles over business profiles. So it's very important for doctors to have a very strong profile on LinkedIn. We're going to give you some tips of how to build that profile, what your posts and strategy should include, how can you connect with other physicians and other clinics that can actually act as referrers for your own business. So what we're trying to convey with this session is that social media marketing doesn't stop on Instagram. Social media marketing can really be leveraged through channels like LinkedIn. And as I said, it's very underused in the healthcare sector. So we'll teach you how you can use it for patient acquisition strategy as well. And that's without budget and without advertising strategy either.
That's
Very
interesting.
organic. Yes, so we really hope to see more and more of you on LinkedIn. Our speaker is actually from Ireland, and he runs a digital marketing agency. And they have built the success of several clinics, including a very famous, popular hair transplant clinic in Ireland, mainly through LinkedIn strategy. So a lot of C-level executives as well are increasingly using it. It's a great place to network and indirectly promote your brand. So if you're interested to join and become a member, we'd love to hear from you. And then we are gearing up for a big event where we hope to see as many of you as possible. This is a full day event and it's in person. It's at the St. Regis Hotel in downtown. It's at the end of next month on the 27th of September. And we have 12 speakers, and we are talking about each and every single marketing channel that is available for you to attract patients and retain patients. So we are covering Google, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, marketing tactics inside the clinics, and much more. So if you're interested, please feel free to reach out. Thank you so much, everybody. And if you'd like to have the recording, you can also reach out to us to get it. We wish you a lovely evening. Thank you again,
Thank you
Tarek.
very much,
Thank you,
Sarvan.
everyone.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone,
Thank
for
you so
attending.
much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Tare.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you very
Sarvan.
much for a nice session.
Good
Thank
night,
you,
everyone.
everybody. Good evening.
Good
Thank
night.
you. Good evening. Good night.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.